Hey guys, Jimmy Davis here, and I'm finally back with another Favorite YTPs of the Year list. I had every intention of making a video last year for my Favorite YTPs of 2018. I had the list made and everything. I actually have the playlist for it, which I'll link in the description. I actually ended up with two playlists, an honorable mentions one and then top 25. And I was going to make a video like this of my top 25 favorite YTPs, but I am a very busy man, but more importantly, I am a very lazy man. So I just never got around to it. But I'm finally doing it this year, and I intend to keep doing it moving forward, even if it does end up coming this late in the year every year. I should probably mention very briefly that you'll probably notice that I am in a unique environment for my channel. This is the YTP News studio, I guess, from Stuart K. Riley. I made this environment shortly after Stu officially retired again for the 5th time, but this time he means it again. For real this time though. But I figured I had this setup that I didn't really have any use for, so I figured it'd make perfect use for this video. So I'm using it here, and depending on if people absolutely hate it, then I won't even consider using it again next year. But if people do like it, and assuming Stu doesn't mind, I know he doesn't seem to mind, he seems to be fine with it as far as I can tell. But I might consider using it again, just for the favorite poops of the year lists. But I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I should probably start actually getting to the list. I do have a couple of quick things that I want to mention leading up to the actual list. So, before I get into it, if there's anybody who's just not at all interested in my commentary, because I think every time I've made one of these videos, I get a comment from somebody saying that they don't like the fact that I just talk for way too long or whatever. And so if you just want to get to the poops, you don't care about what I have to say, there is a playlist linked down below for all the videos. The next thing I should probably mention is, just like every year, this list only features one poop per pooper, and the reason for that is just because if I didn't put a limit on that, the list would probably be dominated by 5 or 6 YTPers. And a good reason why I make these lists is so I can kind of spread the word of more YTP channels so more people can find them. Because even now, I think every video I upload, I tend to get comments from people saying that I'm the only YTP channel they know of today. Basically, it seems like people think YTP died in 2010, and these lists are kind of just a way to show that the genre is still very much alive and active. There are a lot of people who make YTPs. If there's anything on this list that you feel, or anything not on this list, you feel like I missed a poop or a specific YTP channel or whatever, you can just leave a comment down below, and I can't guarantee that I'll get to it. In fact, I probably won't, just because, I do read every comment, but I tend to get a lot of YTP suggestions in comments on these videos, and I just don't really have the time to watch them all. But it's not like I forgot anything, it's just that I either didn't see it or I didn't enjoy it as much as you did. But feel free to comment them down below, and maybe other commenters can look through and watch them even if I don't get to them. But anyway, I think that should cover everything, hopefully. So that's enough rambling, and let's just get into the poops. Number 30. Trump Talks for 3 Minutes Straight by Morimoto YTP.
Madam Speaker, Mr. Vice President, and that stupid politician.
So this one isn't really anything groundbreaking. It's pretty short and simple, with not a whole lot of variety, but there's still a good number of funny jokes and moments that make it worth the watch. And the fact that it's relatively short means that it doesn't really overstay its welcome, so even if you don't really care for it that much, it's nothing painful to sit through.
My dick is rising at the fastest pace in decades. 58% more than that stupid politician looking at my soul.
Number 29. Ralph 2.0 by Numberer 1.
Are you a hobo?
Hobo.
Say it, chump!
I will fuck you!
Wonder how many licks it'll take to get to your center.
This one isn't a very joke-heavy YTP, and it's pretty slow-paced, which isn't going to be for everyone. But the visual quality, as you would expect from a Numberer 1 YTP, is worth the wait, even if you don't really care too much for the humor. Number 28. Nostalgia Critic Pisses His Sanity Goodbye by Airshots22.
Hello, Amor. I remember this long as you have enough rupees.
Admittedly, this one is a little bit hit or miss when it comes to the jokes, but it does have a good variety of jokes and poopisms, and considering how fast-paced it is, it never gets boring. Airshots22 is a YTPer who's apparently been around for 9 years, and yet somehow only has a little over 1,000 subscribers. So if you take away nothing else from this video, subscribe to Airshots22.
I have a small penis.
God, he's creepy.
Number 27, Batman and Rafi by Underused Michaels.
Je l'appelle, monsieur.
In case it wasn't painfully obvious by how I inevitably butchered the pronunciation of the name, I don't speak French. But despite that, I still think this is a really, really good YTP.
C'est curieux, une nouvelle boîte de nuit.
T'as encore lâché une caisse?
J'ai des pattes de gaz.
Oh, ça pue! Qu'est-ce que...
Renifle bien.
There are quite a few long sections in here where there's not much other than sentence mixing jokes, which does make it a tiny bit boring at times if you don't understand French, but every time you start to feel bored, there's some complete batshit insane out of left field edit that just draws you right back into it. And honestly, I think this is probably some of the best visual editing of any YTPer I've ever seen, period.
On est là à la Batcave.
Quelle idée de merde! Ça va après ça.
Because of the amazing visual effects and slapstick humor, this poop definitely earns a spot on this list. Just maybe be a little bit higher up on the list if I could actually understand French. But either way, I'd still definitely recommend watching it.
Et voilà, l'impact n'a pas supporté le choc.
Number 26. Phil of the Flex Tape makes a total mess for just $19.99 by Lulu Loves Cats.
Flex Seal starts out as a thickwit and turns into a soup.
You may have seen a bucket, but you've never seen anything.
I've never seen anything.
There's not really a whole lot I can say about this one. It's just, overall, a fast-paced YTP with great sentence mixing jokes and a good amount of reference jokes that manages to not get too overwhelming. Number 25, Underpoop by Trudermark.
Come with me if you want to live.
If you're like me and have been a fan of Trudermark for a while, you probably remember a few years back when he announced that he was working on a big YTP of Undertale called Underpoop. And also like me, you were probably pretty disappointed to learn that he was scrapping the project without even releasing what he had already finished for it. Well, sometime last year after he announced that he was going to be retiring from YTP, he did finally decide to release what he had finished. And even though it's clearly not 100% finished, it does kind of cut off at the end, it's still a really good YTP. I feel like there isn't really a YTP out there comparable to this one, at least not one that I've seen, considering the fact that the source material doesn't have any dialogue. Although, despite that, Trudermark was still able to get a lot of jokes out of this. It might not necessarily be Trudermark's best YTP, but I do think it was a good note to end on.
Two hours later.
Number 24, Nye Experiments with Child Actors by Dmitry Petrov.
Brought to you by Reflection. Without it, you couldn't see shit. Go fuck yourself.
I kind of feel like this might be Dmitry's best YTP that he's made so far.
You're a dick. Well, I am. I'm walking.
As you've come to expect from a Dmitry Petrov YTP, this one has a great mixture of sentence mixing jokes, slapstick humor, reference jokes, horror, and some just straight up what the fuck moments that just come completely out of left field.
Oh, thank you very much.
Given the combination of everything from cartoony slapstick to horror, every single second of this YTP is entertaining because you never really know what's going to come up next.
Consider this. Consider this.
You and I are shitting on the earth.
But now scientists believe that at one time, all the pizzas on the Earth were pen pizzas. Nice.
Number 23. It's not a pyramid scheme. All companies are structured like pyramids. By Walrus Guy.
It's summer vacation for young Dash Daniels, and his cat Cash Daniels, and his aunt Daniels, and his caucus Daniels, and Ash Ketchum.
I feel like Father's gonna be back soon.
Young Shush.
For those of you who don't know, Walrus Guy is one of the pioneers of story-based CDI YTPs, and is also the creator of one of the first YTPs that I ever remember watching. So to me, it was really cool to see him make a comeback this last year.
Dash and his aunt are digging a pit to take a shit with their behinds when they unearth what looks like...
Wait, that looks like a dick.
This specific source that he's using for this YTP is a newly surfaced CDI source called Pyramid Adventures. So even though it's brand new to us, it already has a very familiar feel to it. And this YTP, even though it's only about a minute long, manages to get a lot of jokes out of the source material and have some highly quotable moments.
God damn, what is wrong with that cat?
You can say that again, Aunt Olivia.
Number 22. The Nonsensical Trinity of HotelCIN meme by Dinmore.
I've got a little penis. It really makes me cry. How I hate my Woody. How it makes girls laugh at me when I open up my pants.
This one's a purely joke-based YTP from a normally very story-oriented YTPer. And although its visuals are incredibly simplistic, the sentence mixing is just as top-notch as anything else that you've come to expect from Dinmore.
It's from Bowser. Bowser.
What?
Look.
Whoa.
Dear plumbers, the princess and I are at my hotel room. Get the hint?
Number 21. Quest for the Plum by Pingus Inc.
What's that noise? Screw this.
This one's a story-based YTP, and although it's relatively short and simple, it has all the great visuals, sentence mixing, and humor that you would expect from a Pingus Inc. YTP.
Enough, Zelda. Make me some dinner. Great.
This channel's already been around for just about 3 years now, so I can't wrap my mind around how they only have 360 subscribers at the time of recording this video. In my opinion, they deserve way more than that. So if you enjoy story-based CDI and or Michael Rosen YTPs, definitely check them out, and this video is a great place to start.
Ah, my ball. That's a shame. How am I going to get it back? Of course.
Where am I?
And off we go.
Number 20. Good Old PU by the Citizen Brain.
Imagine for a moment a world in which there was no murder or theft. This would drive me mad.
I feel like every year within the YTP community, there's always that one YTP that just seemingly comes out of nowhere, but everybody knows it, everybody quotes it, everybody loves it. And this one's definitely 2019's version of that video.
That God is cruel. That God made a world filled with liberals. That God made a world filled with urine and feces. That God is a black lesbian toilet.
The video is almost exclusively sentence mixing jokes, so the visuals are a little bit lacking, but it more than makes up for that by having highly quotable sentence mixing jokes all throughout.
Have you ever pushed a beach ball underwater? What happens? It pops right back up. Have you ever pushed a baby underwater? What happens?
The baby fucking dies.
Number 19. Shrek Practices a Roundhouse Kick by Pi Pivoto. So, just to really quickly address the elephant in the room here, this was the final YTP to be uploaded by Pi before he sadly passed away in early 2019. I'm not going to make some big memorial type speech for him right now, just because I don't really feel like this is the time or the place for that sort of thing. But I just figured if I didn't mention that, people would probably wonder why. So, yeah, now that that's out of the way, on to the video. The video does have a sort of segmented style editing where there's sort of like a joke and a cut and a joke and a cut and a joke and a cut. But despite that, it does have some great jokes and especially some really good visual edits that make it worth watching.
We came, we saw, we kicked their ass. Good! Let's go back inside.
Number 18. Wow, It's Played by The Things.
Before golf tees became popular, players would ball aggressively. But they didn't really catch on until they were invented.
This is the fourth entry into The Things' Wow It's Made saga, and it's just as good, if not better, than everything that's come before it.
The next employee likes feet. Cool. No, he really likes feet. Your feet. He's hot and ready.
Like most The Things YTPs, there's not really a ton of huge laughs to be found here, but the whole video is packed from front to back with a ton of little jokes and The Things' trademark word mashups and puns.
The bowling ball, the bowling ball, the bowling stone has undergone a lot of pins to become the bowling bee. From a crude wood to carved polyester to mold, the molding ball has been reinvented numerous times. But the latest version, the bowling bean, has turned out to be a real winner.
It may be a little bit too slow-paced for some people, but I really love it, and I think if you take the time to watch the whole thing, you'll find at least something to love about it too.
Sometimes the workers are unable to measure certain feathers. Those workers are unable to know their place. Once the attitude has been adjusted, they're transferred to a machine that applies a beating in preparation for the next phase of production. Production.
Number 17. Crustal Poopsie, Sales, Profits, Sales by Noise Puppet.
It would be nice to look at consumers' balls. Our sexy customers want traditional soft cocks. Today, fucking consumers are looking for lighters, they're looking for riots, they're looking for lulls and lulls and sauce.
This YTP is absolutely packed from front to back with some of the most amazing sentence mixing and hilarious jokes I've ever seen in a YTP. Despite being one of the longest YTPs on this list, there's never a dull moment in here and every single joke lands perfectly.
We will thump our salespeople. Crystal Cat is a gory beverage all its own. That's why we shipped in the bottles.
I feel like this is one of those YTPs where you could rewatch it immediately after watching it and still like it just as much the second time around. If you've somehow managed to never watch a Noise Puppet YTP before, you need to change that immediately, and this is a great place to start.
We're doing it without cutting into our sales of the core 4, or the core 4, or the core. We've seen our moms' big testicles. We need weed to give us more chill, and our customers need to display their big titties for us.
Number 16. Schlong of the Dong by A Guy That Loves Pooping.
Hey, I know what's wrong with your cuck. It's your narrow urethra.
I'm gonna fuck your ass. Sass?
This is a really fast-paced YTP with a good variety of poopisms, including YTPMDs.
No more bouncing that ball!
I'm sure most people will find at least something to like in here, unless you don't like a lot of loud, obnoxious noises or sex jokes, which, if that's the case, why are you even watching Poops?
Mr. Krabs, have you ever considered self-contained as, tell you what I'm gonna do. Being that you're gay and I like you, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass, so what do you say?
Take a ride on the cock on an all-new Silver Surfer. Box the Hills next.
Number 15. El extraño casa del gordo vierte el caballo deforme by Parody Adoro Animado.
Hey, mira esto.
Much like French, I pretty obviously do not speak Spanish. Although I think in this case you really don't need to understand Spanish in order to enjoy this YTP. Especially when you're like me and are already super familiar with Shrek. And actually, I kind of feel like sometimes not knowing what's going on actually makes the humor even funnier.
Porfis. De acuerdo. Mátate. Oh, gracias. Es que no.
There are actually official Spanish subtitles available on this video, so I'd recommend watching it once without the subtitles, and then again with the subtitles on, auto-translated into English so you can get even more humor out of it.
Espejito, espejito, muéstrame el ogro. ¡Qué desagradable!
Number 14. Squidwards Are Asked by a bad YTP.
Welcome to my ass. Sorry. Oh, never mind.
Although a pretty simple video overall, this YTP features incredibly impressive visual edits and sentence mixing jokes.
Am I going too fast for you, SpongeBob?
How's it, Squidward?
What the?
It's you and me having sex. That's you on the bottom.
Give me that. What are you doing now?
This is from a relatively new YTPer with a pretty small sub count of 1.4k, but there's somebody who's already off to a great start.
Gently. How's this, Squidward?
You got the penis wrong. There.
Number 13. The King Finds a Hat but Kills Link First by MeStar Studios.
Hey!
Don't talk shit to me, boy.
What? That hurt.
I don't care.
What?
You hurt me. I don't care about you, Link. You make me sick.
Hey! That's not fair! You can't just slap people!
Fuck you, this is my castle. I do what I want.
This is from a YTPer who's been around since 2008, although it is his first YTP in 5 years, so it's possible that you may have never heard of him. If Walrus Guy pioneered story-based CDI YTPs, MeStar Studios perfected it, so if you've never seen his videos before, definitely go check him out when you have the time.
Oh, Fedora.
This YTP has a very simple story that just kinda ends abruptly, and although there are better sentence mixers out there, I don't think there are any better visual editors out there when it comes to CDI YTPs.
No! Shut up, Link. I'm tired of your shit. If you don't GTF right now, I'll literally throw you out the window.
Number 12. I Am Mean Hates Halloween by Paisapi.
Oh look, what wretched children! See the trick, watch the treat. I hate giving goodies, but I won't give things to eat. I've got a little secret that'll really make them cry. I will give them box instead. I'm a boring kind of guy.
I feel like it's been a little while since I've seen a story-based I Am Mean YTP, so it's nice to not only see a new one come out, but to see one as good as this one come out.
Hey, Zelda! Trick or treat!
Stop talking, Link!
Wow! That merchant shop is big! The candy will be as big as an Octorok!
Hello, little bookworm!
Trick or treat! I'm a duck!
This is from a new YTPer who only just got started last April, but in my opinion, they're already on track to becoming one of the greats. They only have 11 other YTPs so far, so I'd highly recommend checking them all out when you get the time. Also, they currently only have 200 subscribers at the time of recording this, so definitely subscribe if you like what you see.
Hey, sexy!
You're too hot for your own good.
Let's go have sex! I can suck your head!
Number 11. The Deliver Us Holiday Special by Scat Rat.
Dear SpongeBob, it's been 3 years when the we didn't deliver this part 2. A very good question. I'm ignoring.
Hey, buddy. It took you 3 days to make that stupid joke.
This YTP features some incredibly impressive masking effects and visual edits, along with a simple but satisfying story.
Sounds like someone died. SpongeBob, cat guy, why'd you do this?
Also, as you'd expect from this YTPer, this has some of the best implementations of dark humor in a YTP that I've ever seen.
Hey, Squidward! Hey, Squidward! Say hello.
I wanna go home! I wanna go home! Where's the road?
Gee,
Where's
Squidward,
anything?
maybe Santa will bring me some bookshelves.
Not bad for a creature.
Number 10. Kanye Has a Mental Breakdown by Flying Kitty.
What? What I'm saying is, we're making t-shirts with cheese. Ah. Let's talk about huge tits. Oh, thank you very much. It's on my chest.
Well, this isn't exactly his best work. It's still a Flying Kitty YTP, so of course it's great.
I've got the biggest titties on the planet. I want to twitch your melons because why not?
His YTPs have such a distinct and unique style that I don't think I've seen anywhere else, so I think he's more than earned those 2.5 million subscribers that he has. I think this YTP is a great introduction to his channel if you somehow missed it up to this point.
Shush! What was in that water? Holy shit! Why don't I take this and this and just... We're all gonna die one day. Yeah, it's true.
Number 9. Fiona Attempts to Far Shreks Away by Patooey.
You are hereby summoned to the kingdom of Far for a royal inauguration, at which time the king will bestow his royal balls upon your face. I love incest balls. Come.
Patooey is an absolute master at sentence mixing, and is seemingly able to find jokes in just about any sentence of dialogue anywhere. To me, that's the main draw to his channel, although this YTP is also a great showcase for his other editing skills.
I'm here to make it all better. With just to make it with a flick of the wrist, you'll jack the prince with a ton of penis.
This YTP may be a bit slower paced than others, but with a Patooey YTP, that's the way I like it, and I'll never get bored.
Oh, yes, it's in a fucking forest, abundant in squirrels and cute little donkeys and
What? About
oh, how original.
Well, I suppose that will be a fine place to rape the children.
Number 8. Lucetta by King Harkinian.
Votre Majesté, il est écrit, vous êtes une grosse merde.
J'en ai rien à foutre.
Ah, super!
This is a fast-paced, ridiculously over-the-top French YTP that's just as funny even if you don't speak French. Which I obviously don't.
Je vais faire de la décime.
C'est génial! Génial!
This one also has official subtitles, so you can watch it with the subtitles auto-translated into English if you want, but it isn't really necessary here. I mean, it's not like it makes a whole lot more sense even if you know what they're saying anyway.
Mon petit, je suis un gilet jaune.
Oh, ça alors!
Je pars pour la liberté.
T'inquiète pas, Zelda. Les forces de l'ordre m'ont promis que le roi reviendra pas, Zelda.
Il suffit.
Oh, Link, je vais te montrer comment. Fermez ta bouche.
Oh, génial!
C'est facile.
Number 7. Californication by Jallerbo.
Hey, what's up, Carl? What you doing here?
You know what that means? More butt sex. What's that supposed to mean? Last night, Carlton.
So this YTP is actually a mashup of a bunch of unfinished projects and Twitter shitposts, although you'd never be able to tell if she didn't say so in the description.
Maybe we should stop ourselves.
Agreed.
Cock.
Despite all the different sources used here, they're expertly blended together in a way that makes it feel like one fluid YTP rather than a bunch of YTP segments played back to back.
I am gay. I'm very hungry. Give me the cop.
I looked at him and I went,
I don't do animals. No.
Now he gets very serious. Like,
I want that cop.
And I said, okay, well, suck my fucking cock. Guy looks at me and very condescending, he goes,
no. I don't want that. Give me the sneeze.
I looked at him and I went,
Number 6. Zelda CD, A New Era by Crustal.
Click button 1 and flat. Check it out.
Meanwhile,
Your Majesty, Ganon and his minions have seized the island of Korodai. Your Majesty. Die.
Oh.
Rather than the typical story-based CDI YTP that you see today, this one's a more traditional style YTP that has a good balance of sentence mix jokes, visual edits, and stutter loops.
Yeah, that old king's no match for Songbird.
Link, go fuck yourself.
Great! I can't wait to grab my cock. Jeez, Ganon sure is gay.
This penis is what all true warriors die for.
I just wonder what the fuck Zelda's up to.
Given the variety and the pacing, even if you don't find the jokes to be all that funny, it should still keep you entertained throughout.
Link, you're gay. It is written, only you can die.
Great! I'll grab my stuff.
There is no time.
Fuck! How about a sandwich?
This YTPer has apparently been around for years across multiple channels, but this current channel is new and so far only has 2 videos and a little over 500 subscribers. So definitely check him out and give him a sub if you like what you see.
Great!
Father, father!
You saved my ass.
Good.
Sass.
Here's the sandwich!
Number 5. Piggies Song by Aliantos.
Mr. Hill, I've diagnosed your son with a disorder. He's probably had it for years. Personally, I recommend putting him on medication.
I once saw someone refer to Aliantos as the David Lynch of YTP, and I honestly can't think of any better way to describe his videos. He has such a uniquely weird and sometimes creepy style of editing that even though they're not necessarily traditionally funny, I don't think I've ever heard anyone describe them as boring. If I had to sum up this video and just all of his videos really in one word, I'd go with mesmerizing.
Take your first pill now. You will place it in your mouth.
You're not going to find any slapstick comedy or excessive ear rape or over-the-top jump scares, but Aliantos still has the uncanny ability to make his videos absolutely captivating from beginning to end.
When's my next pill?
Number 4. Jeopardy Rock Anthem by Crash Matilda.
And now here come the categories for the Jeopardy round. Starting off with Great Britain. Let the spelling worry you. Corn. Let's make porn. Movies. You notice the baby in quotation marks. The old-fashioned shredded man. Tits. Surrounded by dicks. And finally, surrounded by cocks. Joel, you start. Let's start with just like that.
This was one of the last, if not the last, YTP to be uploaded by Crash Matilda before he suddenly decided to private his videos and eventually just delete his channel altogether. As sad as it is to see him go, this was one hell of a note to end on.
Baby. Colby.
What's baby?
That's it.
U.S. politics, 800.
I'm so ready for a good hard porking. Joel.
That's hot.
Correct.
I feel like just about every poopism was used here, and used brilliantly. He even managed to break one of the unofficial rules of YTP by using his own voice recorded specifically for the video, but still managed to do it in a way that wasn't distracting. Which, quick side note, this is why I don't think anyone should ever try to put any hard restrictions on YTP. If you can find a funny way to do it, just do it. Just like Crash Matilda did here.
It's almost as if he's inviting you to place those trained hands on his soft, round...
Bootylicious. Making it into the Bootylicious was one of the 30 most bootylicious moments for this bootylicious singer and writer. Licious. Colby.
This is Beyonce.
Tie one for 200.
If you want to tie up a little girl, use this trusty rope. Joel.
What is a lasso?
Correct.
There are just so many quotable moments and hilarious jokes in here that I don't think it's much of a stretch for me to say that this will someday be remembered as an absolute classic.
Some guys like to slap on a strap-on and rub a little essence of Gwen Stefani on it, too. You're gonna love this one. What is a
Yes. Yes.
Colby's fat call.
Even though Crash's channel is gone, this YTP is uploaded to a channel that I'm pretty sure has all of his YTPs re-uploaded. So if you missed him while he was still here, now's the time to go back and watch through all of his stuff, just in case it ever goes missing again.
Baby's 800.
What I want to do to David Menchaca.
States.
What is kissing?
Number 3. Riptos Racist Reignited by N.P. Carlson.
The professor was working on some new pornography.
Weed. Phew, he's right. Crush, fuck my ass, and make sure it's paid for.
I have sex with dinosaurs?
It's pretty rare for a YTPer to remake one of their old YTPs, and it's even more rare for that original YTP to be one of their best videos. But that's exactly what N.P. Carlson tried. And succeeded in every way imaginable.
Hey, who's that behind you?
What is it, boy?
I'm a boy.
Not only are the visuals updated from the original by using the Spyro Reignited cutscenes as opposed to the original PS1 cutscenes, but the jokes and references have been updated as well, making the video just different enough to be enjoyable for anyone, regardless of if they've seen the original or not.
No, fuck. My name is Alora.
Borealis?
We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves. You're hot. I'm 14.
Oh.
Although a lot of the same story beats from the original are remade here, there are enough changes and additions to the story that keep it from feeling like a replacement of the original.
She's starting to be interested in girls, which I don't like very much.
But no. You're a homophobe.
I wouldn't say that. I just like to kill them.
I think this YTP is proof that even half a decade later, N.P. Carlson is still an absolute master at his craft.
Swill, give that back! Here you go. I'm going to rename this place Ritonia!
Number 2. The Pointless Larks of Underused Michaels by Nintendom 64.
Alan, it's 25 years. Oh shit.
I always have trouble picking favorites of anything, but I think I can safely say that Nintendom 64 is my number 1 favorite YTPer. This YTP is a bit of a break from their standard story-based YTP, but it isn't any less impressive or hilarious.
Vicky, was there a way in which the book changed the way you think? Was there a before and after? Musical, testicle, popsicle, musical.
Children who do poorly in tests haven't got any intelligence.
And that's a fruit.
So in a way, Grant, you're saying you're singular.
Affect you, you reflect upon.
Push one child in one direction when that's not the direction they should be going in.
Well, after all that, I feel like a drink.
As the title of this poop suggests, it's based around mostly obscure or rarely used Michael Rosen sources rather than the usual black or white background Rosen sources that you typically see used. So I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to enjoy this YTP even if you're not normally a fan of Michael Rosen poops.
Eaton, we are all capable of being by...
And my number 1 pick for favorite YTP of 2019 is Tavis by Hour of Poop. Even though I'm not really familiar with Thomas outside of YTP, and I have no clue what the video is supposed to be a parody of, I was still able to absolutely love this YTP.
Are you decent?
bother, said Gordon. I'm going to burst. Ah, that's better. Hello, Thomas. I'm not talking to you. Well, fine, if you don't want any fish. Fish. You see that pole there? Oh, yes, yes, fish, fish. Help! Oh, get me out! Hey, Thomas. I pissed in the water, too.
I really don't think I can oversell this YTP or the YTP channel who made it. Every single thing that they try to do here, they go far above and beyond achieving. The sentence mixing is flawless, the jokes never fail to land, the visuals, specifically near the end, are some of the best I've ever seen in a YTP. The way that they implement random characters from all over the pop culture spectrum is brilliant and seamless, and even for as simple as the plot is, it still works out great and pays off amazingly with some of the best and funniest 2 minutes of story-based YTP ever created. Shit. From when I first saw this video, I knew it was the easy choice for the #1 spot on my list.
Well, fuck me sideways.
And that was my list of my top 30 favorite YTPs of 2019. You guys can let me know what you thought down below. Definitely check out the playlist linked in the description if you haven't already. And be sure to show your support to the videos that you enjoy by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I still tend to see a lot of people saying that YTP is dead or dying, and if nothing else, I hope this list proves that that's just not the case. There's still a lot of really great, really talented YTPers making poop still to this day, so again, definitely be sure to show your support to the channels that you enjoy by liking the videos and subscribing to their channels. But with that, I guess I will end the video here. Thanks for watching if you made it all the way through to the end. I'm sure I will get comments saying that I forgot a certain video or whatever. Again, like I explained at the beginning of the video, I didn't forget anything, I just didn't see everything. So feel free to leave any YTPs in the comments down below, and I will try to check them out. Can't guarantee that I will, but I will do my best to do that. And also, if you see other people sharing YTPs in the description, or in the description, Jesus Christ, I've been doing this for recording this for a long time, so I'm a bit out of it. If you see anybody sharing any YTPs in the comments down below, be sure to check them out yourself. And with that, I guess I'll see you guys next year with my list of top favorite YTPs from 2020.